Hi, my name is Fuzzy Duenkel, and I've been a portrait photographer for about 50 years. If you take a stroll through just about any park these days, you'll run into portrait photographers photographing kids, high school seniors, couples, or families. And in too many cases, the lighting on those people is not very flattering. The culprit is usually excessive top light as compared to the fill light on their faces. As a consequence, those people will have dark eyes and bright noses. Once again, too often, the common practice is to lighten the exposure to get the eyes to look okay. But then the skin is unnaturally light. People don't look like that. So this program is a direct result of my wife and I going for a stroll through a park to see these mistakes being made. It'll be a basic program, but hopefully helpful to those who need it. The lighting lessons that I'll be talking about are universal. You can apply it to babies, kids, families, couples, boudoir, seniors, anything involving people. So I'm not going to go into a lot of variety for the examples that I'll be showing, but I will be showing mostly high school seniors because that's what I have most of. Here's a list of the topics that we'll be covering. A major emphasis of this whole program is whether we want to work on the images later on in the raw conversion or Photoshop, or do we want to fix them with lighting. Next, we'll be going into finding good light to photograph people that's very flattering. And if we can't find it, then how to modify it with blockers and reflectors and flash. The lighting examples that I'll be showing are somewhat basic, but I'll try not to be insulting to anyone because, hey, we all started somewhere. In fact, when I first started, my lighting skills were very, very weak, in fact, non-existent, as you can see from these two examples. Now this one was done some years later of Shirley, and this is when I knew how to work with outside light. I'll show you how to do this. Now the previous images were of my wife, and they were just snapshots, not professional portraits. But this one was. And this was a turning point for me because after I photographed him, I expected it to be better. But when I came back from the lab, I was disappointed at how dark his eyes were. So I didn't understand portrait lighting with overcast skies. There are basically two types of lighting that we'll be working with for portraits. The light that we find and the light that we control. It might seem that using natural light is freeing since you don't have to worry about equipment, but it's actually quite limiting because you can only work where the light is good. Rather, with proactive light, you find the background that you like and then just modify the light to work. And I find that much more professional, if you will. In this backyard scene, we've got two places that would work for good lighting. We want to have something that blocks the overhead light, and in the distance in the middle we've got an overhanging tree, and on the right we've got the overhanging roof. So those are two places that we would have good directional light. The rest of the yard is pretty much useless. But if we control the light with addition and blocking, we can work anywhere. To keep this simple, but also because the main problem I had witnessed was in weak outdoor light, all of the photographs in this program will be done outside. I'll try as much as I can to show pullbacks or behind the scenes photographs to show you the lighting setups as it is here. And then we'll show the before and the after photographs. And sometimes if I don't have a pullback or a behind the scenes photograph, I'll just show a before and after and describe how each was done. For example, The one on the left was with no hair light, and I used a softbox to the right as the main light. The one on the right, I also used that main light softbox, but I added a red gelled speed light behind her on the ground to highlight her hair.